Sandy.
Chucky.
Here we are again. So you know that old saying in LA, throw a rock and you're bound to hit a therapist or an out-of-work actor. Do you know that one?
Nope.
Okay.
But
well,
it's true.
It is true. It is true. So that actually brings me on to the topic, because here in Venice, it's certainly comprehensive place to visit for nurturing the mind, the body, the soul. So
take a deep dive into spirituality.
Well, my question is, I may argue that Venice Beach is actually the most spiritual place in America. What do you think?
I would say no.
You would?
Yeah. I mean, Yosemite.
Yeah, okay, but I'm talking
I mean?
about in terms of choices and opportunities, in terms of wellness, treatments, therapies.
Yes.
In terms of gyms, in terms of anything to do
Health.
with health. Yeah.
I would say so. I mean, I think that, I have lived in Venice for such a long time, and I wonder why, beyond just because of logistics, like, what is my pull for being here? What brought me to Venice? And it makes me wonder what was Venice before it became the Venice we know?
Well, on a very basic level, just geographically, I mean, we're on the edge of the Pacific Ocean here.
Right.
You've got these amazing sunsets. I'm thinking now of the smog sitting on the horizon, but when the smog isn't there, you do actually have these amazing sunsets. And then you have the sunrises as well, the sun coming over the mountains in the east. So just geographically speaking, it's got that earth.
Well, there were Native American Indians here.
Exactly.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So I think, because you could say the same about Santa Monica or Malibu. So what makes Venice different? And I would say it's the vibe and the collective.
Well, exactly, because you can take that a little bit further, and you think of the history of activism here.
Oh, yeah.
The hippie movement here. And even things just as poignant but more basic, things like the street art you have here.
Mm-hmm.
That
Oh, yeah, you don't have that in
quite a lot. It's telling
Santa
a message.
Monica.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It was very telling because during the George Floyd protests, they boarded up all of Santa Monica, Beverly Hills, everywhere. And I had the opportunity, the good fortune of being on Abbot Kinney in Venice. Abbot Kinney's the, one of the main shopping areas in Venice. And I saw tanks there.
Mm.
There was no one else, maybe just a few people. And this artist, her name is Jules.
Mm.
And she's the one, you'll see her artwork all over Venice. But she was painting portraits of all the victims from police violence.
Mm.
And so she was painting that on the doors, on wood. So it wasn't just that you were securing your shop. It had a message.
Mm.
And that's what I love about Venice, is that it's that you can't touch it, but you can sense it and you can feel it. And it was like that when Biden won.
Mm.
It was so fun dancing on the street in Abbot Kinney. I mean, I'm sure they were doing that everywhere, but I think when an artist like Jules, who has murals everywhere, and then you think of Jim Morrison and other creative people have thought their thoughts here, it trickles.
Mm.
You know, it adds it doesn't go away. It leaves its mark. And despite all the homeless and the drug problem, beneath all of that is this real birthplace.
Well, when it comes to you mentioned the homeless, when it comes to say spiritual seeking or enlightenment, I mean the yin and the yang here is obviously the homeless situation in Venice, and a lot of these people are homeless because they quite clearly have mental health problems.
Right.
Now, how they got those mental health problems is perhaps a different discussion, but the point is that still buys into this spiritual wanting that I think people come here looking for.
Looking for something. You're absolutely right. And I met a young woman at a homeless encampment in front of the Venice Beach Library, and I got to know her, and she was a seeker. She wanted to go to a sound bath. She wanted to go to the drumming. She wanted to see a channeler. She wanted to see get some Reiki healing. I mean, I was surprised she knew all of this. She is suffering from being untreated for schizophrenia. And so, you know, when you're struggling with mental illness, or with addiction, or anything that is, you know, becomes destructive, you're really trying to nurture and heal yourself. And I think maybe just by coming to the ocean in itself is healing. I mean, everyone says, oh, well, homeless people, they come here because they get free handouts. Okay, that's probably true. Very, very true. But I also think, I think you're right that the ocean has so much to do with it, and everything around the ocean, which we'll talk about.
Well, I certainly know when I'm out running in the mornings. Again, there you go. There's mind, body, and health. But the amount of classes I run by or run past, and that could be anything from people doing weight training, boxing, yoga, Tai Chi. It's just, and anything you could think of seems to be going on.
On the sand?
On the sand or up in, you know, the grassy parks that run next to the
Wow.
boardwalk, basically.
Yeah.
It's very, there's a lot of people out there doing their thing, following that
And you
path.
have the famous Gold's Gym, of course.
Yeah,
And then you have the
and Muscle
Beach.
Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Arnold Schwarzenegger, who you've seen with Alexander riding his bike
just the other day.
a couple of times.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I think there's a draw here, and it feels different than Santa Monica. It feels different than Malibu. It feels different than Manhattan Beach, or either way, when you go up or down the coast. I took a really great class last week or the week before, and it was at the Lotus Moon, which is
Okay,
a new place. But if you don't know this world, this is the best place to come to Venice, because you have so much to choose from.
I know you were looking at the Lotus Moon, you were listing, there was quite a comprehensive list of
Yeah.
things they were doing, and this is just one place in one location, whereas it's on Venice Circle.
Well,
yeah?
it's right by the Venice sign. So
Yeah.
it's perfect, you know, and it's so, I'm going to look at it. It's called Lotus Moon Collective. And I love it because, first of all, I don't spend a lot of time by the Venice sign. I just don't. It's very touristy. So for me as a local to be able to go there and then find this haven, it's probably like a month old, 2 months old at the most. It's clean, it's well priced, the people know what they're doing, and it's really powerful, and it's real
And what was it exactly that you did?
breath, like a type of breath work and then listening to different sounds. Like they had crystals, and
So it was sound healing
it was like sound
or
healing and
meditation or a
kind of a
combination.
combination. But it's for anyone. It's like you don't have to know how to do it. I had never done that before. I mean, I've done sound healing, but not the breath work type stuff. But and then inside the same building is a vegan ice cream place.
Okay.
And it's so, 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 so good.
Yeah.
And, I think they're just, I want people when they come here to visit to really check out the nooks and crannies, not just what they see.
So how did you find out about this place? Is it like an online presence? Is it word
no,
of mouth?
I just looked down at my phone. I was on Nextdoor, which is an app here in America, and it just popped up and it said sound bath, and it said, it was August 8th, and it was the portal, some spiritual intense energy portal day and I just went.
So I know you kind of have quite a crowd of people who follow these
Right.
different kinds of spiritual pursuits. Now, would you say that people, when they come to, say, Venice Beach, looking for something, do they already have like a location, a company, a business, some kind of healer in mind? Or do you think they just come here and something just pops up from someone they may randomly meet, or they see a sign somewhere?
I think it depends. So you can just come here and walk down the boardwalk.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many tarot readers and psychic readers. Personally, if you can go and have fun, that's fine. I would rather make an appointment with someone who has been recommended. I mean, if someone's telling me about my life, it's like, it can be all fun and you can give them $20 and they can tell you whatever. But I really want to connect with someone who knows what they're doing. Not to say that these people don't, but I don't know what their agenda is.
Probably
so you
to
got
earn
to
$20.
Yeah.
It's probably their agenda.
But
basically.
I think if you want to have a good time wherever you go, do a little bit of homework. And it's one thing to walk down the boardwalk, and a lot of people might just be like, oh, God, it's another t-shirt shop, and, there's another store with like junk food. But if you went to this place, the Lotus Moon.
Well, I think you see someone on the boardwalk and that's something you're more on holiday, you're having a laugh.
Right.
You're with your family or friends and it's something you just do. It's not going to be, you obviously have a pull for that sort of thing. That's why you do it. But it's not something that, it's not like going to see a therapist every week.
Right.
Or it's not
but
like
I'm just saying
running
that
every day.
you can come here with your family and walk down the boardwalk, and then you can also just do a little bit of digging, and you'll find that there are hidden galleries. I didn't even know about that. I didn't know that Jules, that artist I'm talking about, has a gallery right near Abbot Kinney, which is really cool. And I still walk around sometimes in Venice and I discover a street I never even knew was there. Now, granted, there are some parts of Venice that are really like down and out. But then there are some parts that are really cool. And I'm not talking like, $1 million homes, just really quirky and interesting.
I know when my sister was visiting actually last year and I walked her down Speedway and they've got all of the, some of the murals on a lot of the buildings down there. I know they've got some Kobe murals, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Schwarzenegger, Jim Morrison. And the thing is, I see them all the time, so I could just kind of take them for granted.
Right.
But it just so happened I was there with my
Right.
sister and I was like, and she's like, oh, look at this. Isn't this great? And
Yeah.
it's kind of, it's funny the things that you do indeed just don't
Right.
think much of or you take for granted.
You take it
because-
for granted.
Yeah.
Like there's on the canals, on the last canal going north, there is some artwork on the canal, and it looks like it was a Banksy, but it's not, but it looks like it. But yeah, I mean, I think if you can just put on your tourist or your glasses or come from a new perspective, there are so many interesting things about Venice.
Okay, so returning to the point though about Venice and spirituality, I mean, we really don't have to go into the details of every kind of treatment out there or every kind of business offering different treatments. But to your knowledge, can you think of anything in Venice or certainly the surrounding area that actually isn't here? I mean, is there any kind of healing or holistic art or practice that isn't around?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so
I
either.
think, on my own experience, I remember going to a drumming circle on the beach, and that was really amazing. And then I think to myself, God, why don't I do that more often? But I guess that's what makes it special, is that I don't do it that often. But I remember going to a drumming session on the beach, and it was also like sound. Sound was in there. Also, there's been a lot of spiritual things in the water. Like they've had ceremonies for people who have, by honoring people, they swim out into the ocean. Again, that's all collective because it's been done here. I think also.
Well, you could also argue we have dolphins and sometimes whales off the coast. How can the place not be connected and spiritual and oneness?
So
just with those vibrations.
I mean, I think that if you want to, and then there's the other thing of like trying, rollerblading or biking or whatever, you can do it here in Venice. I think that, words like Reiki and sound healing and past life regression, that's really common here. Those words aren't foreign. And
so that's what I was thinking of. So I come from this kind of small town in Gloucestershire in England, and I remember it must have been sometime in the 1980s in Stroud, some kind of spiritual crystal shop had opened up, or maybe it was even a section of an existing shop, but it kind of caused waves of either A, people excited, or B, people like, oh, we don't want those type of people around here. Whereas here, it's just so common. Like if you say to someone, oh, I chanted this morning, oh yeah, I can meet you for lunch, but I need to meditate first, or yeah, I'm in the middle of Reiki, I'll call you back later.
I mean, it sounds
it's just normal. It's so normal here.
But when you say it, it makes it sound like it's so bougie.
Bougie?
Yeah. Like, I got to do my Reiki.
Yeah. Okay, what about food? So spiritual eating here. Things like...
I think vegan.
Cafe Gratitude. I remember when that first opened. And
which is great. I love the whole idea of Cafe Gratitude. And that was a big deal. And that started here in Venice. Cafe Gratitude. All vegan, all really good food. And you walk in there and it's just, you feel that this sense of gratitude. You just do. It has a really good vibe. But now there are a lot of other places like that.
Yeah.
Along Abbot Kinney and on Main Street and even pockets along the beach. You'll find that. I
guess it's kind of like a thin line, isn't it, between, because I know you've got a lot of these sort of artisan, rustic eating establishments have opened up here. Well, they've always been here, but they've certainly seemed to have increased in the last sort of 10 years. And they are all bordering on that sort of, again, that organic, spiritual, whole foods, vibe.
And I think it ties in with just spiritualism in general, because I spiritualists back in the day, my understanding is that they were vegan because they were aware of the consciousness of living creatures. Way back when, when they had witches and spiritualism, and it's gone through so many different transitions and makeovers. But overall, I mean, I think, again, coming to Venice and trying different foods, not just Mexican food because you're in Southern California, but going to a restaurant where it's all vegan, and trying the different foods and experiencing and being curious. I want to say something about the community here on the canals. There's a really strong community here. And then it bleeds out from the canals, so our surrounding areas as well. There is a really strong community. I don't know if you have something like that in Santa Monica because it's more spread out, or in other places, but there is this kindred spirit like feeling here. And I think that's another reason why it attracts a lot of homeless people and people who are seeking. I don't know if homeless people, if that's the right word. I would say wanderers, because, I mean, there are a lot of homeless people, but there are a lot of searchers coming here looking, kind of like people who go to Hollywood are looking for fame and fortune. And people come to Venice are looking for connection and healing and exploring,
I know that's quite a divide, isn't it? I know when I used to socialize and actually go out and go places sort of years ago, there would be a clear divide of whether you were sort of on the west of the 405 or you were on the east. So essentially that comes down to, are you the sort of hippie, spiritual, whatever person living by the coast, or are you the sort of networking, wannabe
hip
actor, producer, hipster on the up in Hollywood? Returning to food, though, what do you think of Erewhon supermarket?
I think it's fun.
I mean, $18
I
for
just
a
would
punnet
go.
of
I would just
strawberries.
go in there and not bring your wallet,
Well, exactly.
because
Exactly.
it's really tempting to go in there, and then you leave, and it's like, what did I buy for $50? And I have 3 things in my shopping bag.
Yeah.
It's fun to go there and explore and just taste the samples, a lot of samples,
Yeah.
and then, try on different products. And maybe they have something there that you can't get anywhere else. But, they have camel milk there, which I think is odd, but in some countries that's normal.
That's just like a big goat,
But
really, isn't it?
not really.
Oh, okay.
But, I mean,
It's got a hoof.
yeah, I get it. I mean, I think that it's really funny because when there was the homeless encampment in front of the library,
Oh, yeah.
like huge, so many people there, and because I remember you joked about it and said that we would need to make a reservation to go camping there.
Oh, yeah.
And
Let's go camping
I
there.
remember telling an officer that someone was walking around with an axe, and he said, "Well, that's considered camping gear." And I remember a lot of the people from that encampment would go to Air One, and they would just like take some of the samples and use the bathroom. And I think that's why they don't have samples anymore. So
Oh, do they not have samples
no,
there?
the outdoor samples. They have samples inside, but outdoors they used to give free drinks and stuff.
Well, again, it's just the crazy.
Or just like the homeless guy in front of Air One who said he is vegan, which is sweet. I mean, why not?
Well, that was like,
vegan.
remember Vince and Josh getting pizza up the road here the other week, and they came out and offered a slice to a homeless guy, and the guy said, "What is it?" And they said pepperoni, and he's like, "I'm vegetarian." And they're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you know,
I
this
mean,
is
it's okay. I mean, back in the day, it would be like, "Are you kidding me?
yeah.
Just take what you can." But maybe he or she doesn't have to.
Okay, so as we meander along on this subject, which you can see we're all very highly qualified to talk about,
Are we?
do you think Venice Beach
Is the most spiritual place in the world?
In America?
In America. I would say it's up there because I'm wondering where else can you find all this?
Exactly. Well, exactly. I think in terms of...
If you thinking in terms, sorry, but like music, art, because we forget, and you reminded me that music and art is part of that spiritual world, creativity. So I think there's a lot of opportunities in Venice that we're not really even aware of, that we could take advantage of.
Yeah, I think there's definite opportunity here, without a doubt. For if you're lacking something mentally, physically, holistically, we certainly, as I say, we can throw a rock in any direction around here, and we'll probably hit somebody who can help us.
Yeah, a therapist,
without a doubt. Okay, well, look, we're going to wrap this up, but I just want to, before we do, just go over some of the news this week in Venice. We're going to do another podcast on this, a follow-up one, but the dog deaths on the canals here, the public health people came out and basically blamed the dog deaths on the canals on...
Well, they didn't blame it, but
they blamed it on toxic algae.
They said there was a link. There may be a link. That's the proper way to phrase it. There's nothing conclusive. I still have my questions.
Okay. Well, we're actually going to do another podcast on this, and we're going to get a special guest in. So we'll save that. But that is the kind of main headline news here this week.
Yeah.
I just heard some banging in the background then. Don't know what that was.
And everyone is still wondering what caused the death. So it has not yet been determined.
Okay. And also this episode is coming out on Sunday. So if you're watching it in real time, or you watch it, you will know that afternoon in Venice is Ciclavia.
I'm so excited.
And what is...
Well, I've been waiting for so long to do this. And Ciclavia is cycling. So they're going to close off Venice Boulevard from Venice all the way to Culver City. And you can bike ride, you can rollerblade, you can walk, you can dance. They have like little, booths everywhere, and it's just so, so, so fun. The one time that I did it, I remember thinking, I can't wait to do this again. And that was like 10 years ago.
Okay.
And they have it all over LA. They just have it in different parts. So this one is just right next to us.
Brilliant.
So it's so fun.
Okay.
Yay.
Well, on that note, subscribe, share, click the links, blah, 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 whatever people are meant to say at the end of
Get
these
spiritual.
things. Exactly.
Do something spiritual.
Yeah, come to Venice. And get spiritual.
And get spiritual.
Okay. Bye.
Chucky.
Bye.